This is the biggest trap of all, is that the shenanigans of the other side and the inconsistencies of the other side and the ever-wavering policy commitments of candidates like Kamala Harris, that they cause us to forget to tell the country who we are and what we stand for. We're not just running from something anymore, guys. Now is our moment, more than ever, to actually start running to something, back to our vision of what it means to be a citizen of this nation. What does it mean to be a citizen of the United States of America? It means I pledge allegiance to this nation, not another one. It means the people I elect to run the government, that we elect to run the government, better darn well run the government rather than the unelected bureaucrats who we can never fire. It means that we're going to shut down agencies like the U.S. Department of Education and countless other three-letter agencies that have really aggregated power at the expense of the American electorate. I think in some ways that requires not being more moderate, but more of what some in the media will call extreme. Well, you know what? The American founding was extreme at its origin, right? The idea that we, the people, create a government that's accountable to us rather than the other way around. Or the idea that you get to speak your mind openly as long as I get to in return on open platforms that aren't shut down in a free country like the United States. That was a radical idea at the American founding. For most of human history, it was done the other way. People were skeptical that voters could self-govern and decide for themselves how to sort out their differences. That was the whole point of having backroom kings and nobles in the back of palace halls in old world England and for most of human history that made those decisions for the people that couldn't be trusted to make those decisions for themselves. That's what you're seeing reemerge in the modern American aristocracy as well. A skepticism that voters, without having tilted the scales of what information they can and can't be exposed to, the voters themselves will make a wrong choice for themselves unless you actually have the heavy hand of elite government interference or elite bureaucratic interference getting in their way. But that's what's on the table in this election. I do think that this is one of those elections that's not about the traditional Republican versus Democrat talking points. It's a 1776 kind of election. Do we actually believe in those, yes, extreme ideals on which the United States of America was founded? I do, and I'm proud of it. Do I think those ideals still exist in this country? I do. I think most Americans still believe in them. I think they still unite most Americans, even in a moment where it feels like we're skating on thin ice. The common commitment to those ideals runs far deeper than the media would have you believe. But it is up to us to now step up and stand for those ideals without apologizing for it, to offer our own vision, to say that this is where we are running to. It's not, Make America Great Again is not just about some nostalgic vision for a past that we grew up in. That's a trap we sometimes fall into. Even when I speak sometimes, I often say, I want to pass on to my kids the same country that I grew up in. But that's a mistake. We got to do better than that. We don't want to just return to some nostalgic satisfaction of the past. When we say we want to make America great again, what we actually mean is we want to make America greater than it has ever been. That's who we are.